Well, for more on France's overseas military operations, we're joined now by General Dominique Trinquant, former head of the French military mission to the UN. General, thank you very much for your time. This is the biggest single loss of life for a French military operation overseas for 30 years. Is the cost of these operations actually worth the aims they're trying to achieve?
Yes, certainly. The aim is to fight against these jihadists, which are not very far from Europe, in fact. So these soldiers have been fighting to defend their country and to defend Europe against these extremists. So we must remember that when we are going to war, they can be lost. And sadly, this happened last night.
But the French Foreign Ministry have said before about this operation that it's at a bit of an impasse. So is this particular operation actually proving successful?
It is successful when, first you must remember when it started in 2013, when we stopped the jihadis going to Bamako and establishing a new caliphate in South Sahara. So this was a success. Now we are fighting small battles and we have to defeat these people. The problem is that we are running the operation in roughly a failed state. I mean, Mali and Burkina Faso are in a very difficult position. So the military can't win the peace. In fact, they can win battles, but not the peace. It's up to the country to fight to win the peace.
And the French Defence Minister has vowed that they will continue on with this operation. But I'd like to hear from you. At what point did you say we are not getting the traction that we want? It's time to say we pull boots off the ground.
Yes, I mean we must be patient. We can't win in a couple of weeks. This is a problem which exists prior to the first Operation Serval. So it's a long running operation. We've got 4,500 troops on the ground. I'm speaking about the French troops. We have more small contingents of European coming, and I hope that this contingent will give the information to their capitals in order for the capitals in Europe to understand that the threat is also, it's not only in the east, it's also on the south, and we've got to fight together.
Well, talking about fighting together, from the French perspective, is there this sort of demand to say, other countries in Europe, we need your support here in a military capacity?
Oh, yes, exactly. We've got already British, Danes, Germans, Estonians who are coming in small contingents. But we need to have more country and more, mainly logistic, but also special forces. The minister asked a couple of weeks ago to form a coalition of special forces with European countries to be able to fight together. And I'm pretty sure that as soon as the soldier will be on the ground, the information will go back to the capital, and the capital will realize that the threat is really there, and they've got to give more means to these operations.
What about the states at the heart of this, the failed states you mentioned, Mali, Burkina Faso? You know, what responsibility lies on them to try and take action here?
Of course, they've got a big deal to do with. First, in Mali, there is the Alger Agreement, and the Alger Agreement currently is not in action. So they need to be sure that they are fulfilling what has been agreed with the party in the north, the Azawad. That's the first thing. In Burkina Faso also, we must remember that there was a coup in Burkina Faso and the army is in a bad shape. And that's the same case in Mali. So the first thing is that the money which is given to this country must go back to their weapon system, to the army, and be in a position to fight at the right level against these jihadis, but also to put the money in the development, because these jihadists, in fact, have got a lot of money with trafficking of drugs and people and medics, and because they've got a lot of money, they are giving the money and the weapons to young people who have no choice because, in fact, they've got no job. So the country needs to go back in the countryside and provide jobs in the countryside.